Libra friends, it's just Jay with True Empathic Insights Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel this month, February 2017. This is my first love and romance oracle card reading that I've done since I started my YouTube channel. And if you haven't gotten a chance to view your moon and or rising sign yet, my goal was to get as many of those videos posted early as I possibly could. So you may not see your video until February 1st, but I'm trying to get these out to you as quickly as possible. So hopefully you got a chance to view your moon and or rising sign as well, so that by the time you see this, it all syncs up for you or otherwise, depending on the messages that are relayed. Now, I have to apologize. My voice is a little raspy. I caught this yucky virus that's been going around in my community. I managed to avoid it for the longest, and then it finally hit me. So I've been in a healing phase, and I'm feeling well enough now, at least to record and finish posting my videos. But you might hear some raspiness and a little bit of coughing throughout the video, so apologies for that. Also, since I began these readings, the intention was to just provide some type of romantic insight for the month. But based off of what the universe has given me and my guides as well, it's definitely been a little more geared towards general love messages that I'm feeling like your sign needed to hear for the year. So it's not even just for the month, although your video is being posted for the month of February. The messages seem to be more, I guess concise is the word that I'm looking for than that, in that it's definitely not just applicable to the month so much as it's applicable to your love situation in general. Also, while I am trying to steer it more towards, so that there's a balance between those of you that are in relationships versus those of you that are single, it just depends. Because some readings have been more so geared towards those of you that are single, and then others have been vice versa. So I'm still trying to make it applicable to both sides, but as I'm sure you'll see when I start getting into the reading, depending on what messages is being relayed to me back to you, it's definitely been an interesting dynamic. So hopefully it provides some insight and clarity for you, and helps you as far as your own love journey is concerned. So without further ado, oh yes, and the cards that I'm using, again, if you haven't checked your moon and or rising sign, I'm using the Romance Angels Oracle Card Deck by Doreen Virtue. Obviously it's worn out. I do a lot of love readings. And then my clarifier card is being pulled from the Lovers Oracle Card Deck by Tony Carmine Salerno. Okay, now we're going to get to the readings. First card for you, my dear Libra friends, is Release Your Ex. That's kind of powerful because that means that you're still holding on to something, a past love, a past relationship that you've had a really hard time letting go of. And I feel like for many of you, this is a relationship that ended not just a few months ago, but this could be a year, maybe even 2 years ago for many of you. Maybe even longer, my goodness. You might have dated and allowed yourself to get close to a few individuals, but you still kind of held on to this person. And you may have found yourself, in a sense, relaying what you experienced with that person into your newer relationships, or into these people that you were attempting to get to know, and situations that you were exploring. You're still kind of holding on to this person instead of allowing yourself to fully release them. Now, there is some healing work that needed to be done, which includes time. You know, time is a great healer. The longer you're away from this person, the more separation that you have, the better. Because it forces you to find yourself again. It forces you to get to know you again, which is a good sign. But if you're still finding yourself attracted to people that hang out in similar circles, if you find yourself looking at old pictures of them a lot, if you find yourself still talking about them in your day-to-day conversations, that's not fully releasing them. Although there's nothing wrong with remembering good things about your relationships and having those memories, because those are with you for many lifetimes, right? You were meant to learn something from that person. You were meant to go through something with that person. but you also need to recognize why that relationship ended to begin with. Whether they ended it or you ended it, there was a reason why it needed to end. And acceptance is the final stage. Acceptance. It's like grieving. When you lose someone from this plane, in this plane, basically, there are several stages of grief that you have to go through. Depression, anger, denial, all of that, before you finally come to a place of acceptance. And acceptance is acknowledging that the relationship is truly over. It is done. Now, I know that's not easy to accept for many of you. And I feel like many of you are dating. Many of you are attempting to explore new territory with other people. But you're still kind of holding on to this piece, this person. Like, there's still a very powerful and strong hold connected to this person that's affecting your ability to fully embrace new relationships. And so I feel like the universe is saying to you, you haven't exactly healed. You haven't exactly done the work that you needed to do to release this. It's like you almost tried to push it down deep inside of you and tried to ignore it a little bit, which isn't healthy either. Because then that's like denial. That's not acceptance, if that makes sense. So it's hindering your ability to move forward in your relationships. And you might have noticed that. You might still feel very much a stronghold, like you haven't been able to move forward with your life, with your love life, because you're still holding on to this person that no longer serves you. To a relationship that ended a long time ago. I feel like it was a very long time ago for many of you Libras. And gosh, even if you're in a relationship right now, I feel like there's still a stronghold connected to this person. Every time this person screws up with you, every time this person does something that's contradictory to your thought pattern and your process, it's like you're connecting them to this person back here. And you can't. This person is a totally different energy, a totally different entity. And that's hurting you. That's hurting your ability to grow and move forward. So this tells me right now that you needed to do some healing work. Forgiveness. And I invite you to actually Google I think I know 2 different psychiatrists. I can't think of their names right off the top of my head, but one reiterated 7 stages of grief that people go through before they get to the final stage, which is acceptance. And then there's the 5 stages of grief. And I encourage you to just look up the stages of grief via Google and look for some things to kind of help you through it. You might need to talk to someone. You might need to talk to a counselor. This might have been a verbally abusive relationship. This might have been one that definitely did some damage and made you a little less trusting and a little less open. And when I say, not to the extent that, I think we all go through those stages where when we break up with someone, we're a little less inhibited. We feel inhibited. We feel like we can't necessarily 100% move forward with a person until this person fully proves themselves to us because of this past relationship. And that's very common for a lot of people. I mean, and it makes sense. You want to be careful about who you allow yourself to get close to, or who you allow in the heart space chakra. Apologies, my space heater is on, so if it feels a little bit, that's why. Trying to stay warm, but now it's too warm, so I had to turn it off. So volume might be a little bit better now. But I feel like for you, this was definitely one that did a number on you. This was something that was quite painful, a very painful breakup that you tried to kind of forget about, you tried to ignore, but you didn't allow yourself to properly heal from it. And so the universe is saying, you need to heal. You need to fully release this. Otherwise, we can't send you the person that you're meant to be with. Like, you didn't allow yourself to heal properly. That's the best way to describe it. And the card says, the time has come to clear your energy. So whatever that means. If you need to go speak to a counselor, if you need to talk about it with somebody who is objective, not subjective, doesn't know this person, but can look at this objectively and offer you some clarity and some insight. If you need to allow yourself to maybe delete some old photos of this person, If you need to write a letter, you know, some really, really great ways of releasing an ex. There's a lot of things you can Google and find, but things that I've found to be quite helpful. Sage. I had to burn sage in my bedroom because my ex's energy was still there. And I could feel it, and it was making me crazy. And so I had to do something about it. So I did some research, and I found, gosh, I can't even think of the name of it, but there's this green stone, and I have it. And you can actually hold that close to you. You can put it under your pillow at night to help you release your ex. And it proved to be very helpful, but also sage. So I found lots of different remedies to help me move forward in that. But sage was a huge, huge element. And look at that. It just came right out for me. So this stone helps with releasing past loves, past relationships, so that you can move forward. And then, of course, burning sage to release the energy from your home, from your space. Let's see. If you moved out, that helps. If you don't live with your partner anymore and you were living in their space, that helps a lot. But if they, if it was kind of a dual space relationship where they spent a lot of time in your home, and you spent a lot of time in theirs, it's important to cleanse the energy, clear the air. That's very helpful. Write a love letter to your ex, letting them know how they hurt you. You don't send it to your ex. That's the thing. This is something you're putting out into the universe, out into space, if you will. You can read it out loud after you write it, put it out there. The universe will hear it, transmit the message to them. That allows you to clear the energy. Then you burn it, burn the letter. And the universe will make sure that they get it. Because I truly believe that karma. I truly believe in karma, and I truly believe in karmic retribution. I feel like this person really hurt you, Libra. And I truly don't believe that that's going to go unrecognized. Karmic retribution. That person's going to have to learn from their mistakes. They're going to have to learn from what they did, and hopefully not take that into future relationships and hurt others. But I do believe that when you put that out there, you're basically saying to the universe, I give this to you now, and the universe takes care of it. You can also try cutting the etheric cord. I have not found that to be the most helpful. It just depends on how connected to the person you were. Some people, it's easier to cut the etheric cord. Like, I feel like it's like second nature. But if you were really connected to this person, like you really felt them on a soul level, which could be a soul contract relationship that you needed to go through, it's a little harder to sever the ties when there's that strong connection. Also, if you were intimate with them and you did not use protection, that is an even deeper feeling versus not. You know, a lot of people can be intimate with other people and somehow remain detached. They say it's harder for women to be detached versus men, but I don't think that's true. Women can be just as detached as men. But something happens when the two of you actually connect in a way, and there's no real protection. There's no barrier, in a sense. And this can apply to same-sex relationships, too. If there's no barrier and you allow yourself to become fully attached to another person, it's like you're imprinting your DNA onto them. And that's even harder to break the etheric cord. That's even more challenging to break the etheric cord when there's a full-blown connection like that. So you have to do what you have to do to release that energy. Your reading is getting very long. We're going into the 15-minute segment, but I just felt like you guys needed to hear that. So this is very much related to those of you, I feel like it's a mixture. To those of you that are single and in relationships, you're holding on to this past love very tightly, and you need to let it go. You really need to let it go, because it's hurting you. Your second card here is romantic feelings. So this can apply to those of you that are single and you're kind of exploring different partners. And there's one in particular, and this was applicable to Virgo too. I just did the Virgo reading, so that's interesting. it's usually the first person that comes to mind. So when I said romantic feelings, whoever popped into your head, that's usually the person the universe is trying to steer you towards. Like, that's somebody you need to give it a go. Allow yourself to be with that person, to be vulnerable, to explore. There's nothing wrong with being vulnerable. You're not any less strong when you're vulnerable with someone. Honestly, being vulnerable requires quite an amount of strength, quite an amount of depth. Because not being vulnerable, it's like you're putting up a wall, you're putting up a barrier. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you're stronger. It means that you're hiding. Being vulnerable and allowing yourself to feel and go to that place requires a certain level of depth and strength. So being vulnerable is a good sign, Libra. Allow yourself to be vulnerable with this person, whoever came to mind. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. And the final card for you, my dear Libra friends, is very soon. So to me, very soon means, well, right off the bat, I'm not even reading the message below it, but to me, right off the bat, that says very soon the right person is going to come in. The right person could be connected to this person that you have romantic feelings for. Or it could be another person down the road. But honestly and truthfully, very soon, real love is going to manifest one way or another. The universe is trying to send it to you. But you're blocking it by holding on to this junk back here. Take from it the light and the love from the lessons learned. I say that a lot for those of you that watch my channel, but it's necessary. Take from it the light and the love from the lessons learned. In order to release, in order to fully release. Burn sage, buy that particular stone, which right off the top of my head, I can't remember what the name of it is, but Google it. Greenish, bluish quartz stone to help you release past loves. Write a letter to your love. Burn it. Do what you have to do, as long as it doesn't cause harm to you or to others. Do what you have to do to release your ex and to accept that that relationship is fully over so that you can move forward, because very soon love is going to come in and you don't want to pass this beautiful opportunity up to be with somebody who actually appreciates you, to be with someone who actually balances you out, that gives you what you need, that gives you as much as you give to them. I feel like this relationship, you gave a lot of yourself to, and maybe that's why you closed yourself off in a sense. But it's saying, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. Okay, so, do you want love? Are you ready for love, Libra? Do you want it to last? Do you want marriage? Do you want to start a family? Do you want those things? The white picket fence? The fantasy, the dream? It can be yours. But you have to let go of this in order for that to occur. Okay. So, clarify a card for my dear Libra friends. Okay. Tony Carmine Salerno likes a little bit of nudity. So, hopefully this isn't offensive to you. I think the human body, whether it's male or female, is quite beautiful. So, but I love it because she's very free and she's letting the sun just hit her. She's basking in the glow of the sun. She's embracing it. But the card says, a message for you. I'm thinking of you this very moment. Your love fills me with light. I love you. Okay. So that tells me that this love, you need them just as much as they need you. They're wanting you. They've put out into the universe what they need from the love that they seek, basically. So this tells me someone that's coming to you, if you haven't met them already, has manifested you. They have manifested you. Just like you, in a sense, have manifested them, even though you're still holding on to the garbage. You, in a sense, have manifested what it is that you want from love. But the universe hasn't been able to send it to you because you're still holding on to the garbage, right? Well, same as you've manifested love for them, they've manifested you. You as their love. And they're basically saying to you in spirit, I love you. Your love fills me with light, and I'm ready to receive you. But you know what's keeping them from receiving you, from connecting with you? It could very well be this person, is this right here. So that's where you're at, Libra friends. I hope that helps. I know that probably wasn't the most pleasant messages. I try to keep them as positive as I can, but I hope it provides some clarity and some insight. And you know, you can send me an email if you want some more tips on how to release an ex. Definitely leave me comments in the comment section below, letting me know, or letting the rest of us know some things that you've done to try and release past relationships. Those of you that have successfully done that, and have found that to be most helpful to you. I mean, this message may not resonate for the majority of the Libras that watch this channel. You might find that your moon and your rising sign resonated more so for you versus this one. So if this isn't the case for you, Libra, by all means, if you know how to release those past energies, by all means, go ahead and release that or share that with us in the comment section below. But of course, check your moon and your rising sign out as well to see how those are syncing up for you or otherwise. I'm still in the process of building my website to make purchasing readings a little bit easier. But for now, if you'd still like to purchase a personal reading from me, by all means, reach out to me in the comments, or excuse me, at the email located directly below in the description box, or conveniently at the end of this video. So, there you have it, my dear Libra friends. Again, I hope this was helpful to you. Blessings, light, and love. Talk to you soon. Bye.